Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today I have with me some device that's quite different from the devices that I used to review. So usually I either have an AMD CPU or an Intel CPU. But with this one we have the Qualcomm CPU, the Snapdragon SQ3 whatever. We're going to try and figure it out. How is it against an i5 from Intel? And that's basically the same device, just some minor differences. If you are interested of seeing the video, the review of the Surface Pro 8, I think it's called, with an Intel i5 and 8 gigs of RAM, 256 SSD, you're more than welcome. But I'm going to go overview on both of them, but yeah, let's go. So before we begin, can you notice the differences between those two devices? They are basically the same size. I mean, the thing that you might say, well, it's a little bit higher, I don't know, wide, they're basically the same. Just with the ports, they played a little bit around with them. So, let's put them right against each other. I'm going to do it like that. And on top, right? On top, we have the Intel, which that's where the power button, the two Type-Cs, and I think it's the SD card right there. No, it's the charger. They have this weird charger. See, it's over here as well. So on the older device, you had everything on this side, also the charger. Now on the newer model, you have the charger and some optional. I think it's optional, or maybe it's just some type of antenna, like the iPhones. You see them over here, basically as well over there. Now on the back, I mean, it's not the back, it's on the bottom. Well, it's not the bottom, it's on top. It's a little betsy because it's a tablet. So on the Qualcomm version, here we have the start button and the volume rocker, and on the left side, it's a little bit messy. We have with the Intel the power button, the auxiliary port, and basically that's it. That's where you put your finger to pull the lever. It's not the lever, it's the back to the hinge of the device. On the bottom of the SQ, we have just two Thunderbolts, and again, this thing. Another major change between the Intel version and the SQ version, well, it's 2-in-1, is the battery's size, right? So this one, that's the Intel, that's the Qualcomm. So as you can see, this one is 65 watts, this one is 39, right? But it's not just it. If you see on the bottom, you can actually see a USB charger. So basically you could charge up your device as well charging another device. So it was kind of useful, and they took it out for some reason, so I don't know why. Yet, same weird charging, it's not even a port, it's a magnetic port charger, whatever. I don't like it, and I think most people who are using those Microsoft Surfaces do not like them. So I think that's enough talking. Let's power them both up and see which one goes faster. Maybe someone goes a little bit slower. Before turning it on, can you see a difference between them? I mean, again, so maybe because of an age, so this one became a little bit like yellowish, right? But the keyboard and everything is just the same. Let's turn them on. See what's happening. Same black and white Windows logo. So the Intel version started up already. So the SQ takes a while because, as we all know, that Qualcomm is usually like mobile chips. The chips that you're using on your cell phone, on your IoT stuff. That's basically its usage. So that was up. And I think from now on until the benchmarks, we'll go over the SQ and see what it offers, right? So usually right here, I'm talking about the device's weight. But I don't think we have to talk about weight because that's a tablet, right? So as a tablet, there is basically no weight. I mean, I would guess it's a little bit like 1.1, 1.2 kilograms, but it's basically nothing, right? You can take it in your bag. It's so slim, you can, I don't know, it's like a notebook. See, it's even fast. It's faster than our usual Intel devices where the sleep isn't working and stuff like that. So let's talk a little bit about the screen. So the screen has this weird resolution of 2880 by 1920. It just means that the aspect ratio is 2 by 3. What it means? Usually we have the 16 by 10, 16 by 9, right? So 3 by 2 means that we have much more space, like again, like a notebook and not like a laptop. So you can either use the device like that. See it, it's wonderful. Or you can use it like that. And then you have like more space in the screen. You'll probably have more black bars from here, like, you know, when viewing videos, but that's our life right now. But one beautiful thing that we can talk and say about this screen is that it's not OLED, but it's still very, very good. But there is one tiny thing that's extremely beautiful. The thing that I'm talking about is the 120 Hertz. So what it means that the screen is smooth as hell, but there is, again, subtext to this one. There is dynamic option. So you can basically use this device, and if the device sees that you don't need the 120 Hertz, like, I don't know, like you're using some, I don't know, basic app that does not need a smooth screen, then it moves to 60 Hertz, and by that you're saving additional battery life. But with this device, we don't care about battery life because it's already superb. And one last thing before proceeding to the keyboard and trackpad, if you've noticed, the screen is very reflective. I've seen worse, but let's say we are changing to something like, unlike black theme, right? So if I'm changing to something black, hi, you can see me now. So it's not the funniest thing to do. So if you are going to use this device, use it with white, or should I say lighter colors. And for the keyboard, so the keyboard, we haven't really talked about it, but it's detachable. So you can use the tablet like that, and that's basically the keyboard. It has no, it's so slim, it's like nothing, and it's also included with a pen, which I basically myself don't really like because it's not that precise as I really want it to be, but it's fine. Now, if you have noticed, the keyboard is having like small ergonomic feature, like let's say if you want to type, you can use it like that, where it's the keyboard is a little bit elevated. But you can also use it like a normal keyboard, almost like a normal keyboard, and use it like that. Like it's going to be extremely close to the surface, to whatever you're using. So some people find it like that easier to type, some like that. I personally like it like that, where it's a little bit elevated. So yeah. Now about the typing experience, as I've previously mentioned, or as you saw, I had the Surface for a long time. I'd use it for my degree, and I typed on it so many hours, weeks, months, maybe even years. So I have experience with it, and I really do like the keyboard. It's not the best typing experience, but if you are typing on it, then you'll feel like at home, I guess. It's nothing fancy, but it's nice. So let's type together something. See, it's right at home. It's not the best, but it's cool. It's fine. And for the trackpad. So the trackpad is precise. It's better than the Intel version. That's something that I can give to Microsoft. But except for that, I'm still feeling like the trackpad is like cheap experience. What I'm trying to say by cheap experience, let's say I'm clicking on it, right? See, it feels, it doesn't feel that great. So it's nothing to do with being expensive or something like that. It just feels not the best. The surface itself is good. It's very precise. You can see I'm moving my finger. It's right on space, right on time, right everything. So I like it. Again, the keyboard itself is very expensive, and you can also use the tablet as a tablet, and you can use it like that with the keyboard. But let's say I'm typing on you see, it's stupid. Let's say I want to type like that. Hello world. It's not the best experience typing like that. So if you have the ability to buy the external keyboard, do it. It's expensive, but it's worth it. Now let's check the speakers. I think that they're going to be the same as previous year, but whatever. So let's start it up and see how they sound like. Ooh, much better. So the SQ version does have better speakers. I mean, they have a little bit of bass, which is good. They are not very loud. I mean, you can hear them very, very clear, and you'll enjoy hearing music with it. It's still not Apple version, but it's still very, very good. I would give them like 7, maybe 8. They are good. So the hardware specs. So the device is using Microsoft SQ3, which means Qualcomm Snapdragon, I think, whatever. The base speed is 3.0. It means nothing. We have 8 cores and 8 logical processors. The L1 cache is 768, 6 megabytes and 8 megabytes for each L1 and L3 cache. This CPU is very, very, very power efficient. It's extremely power efficient. I mean, with my older Microsoft device, I could run for like maybe 5, maybe 6 hours if I would like only use the web. With this one, I can use the device for a day and I wouldn't have to use the charger. It's wonderful, but yeah. Memory. So we have 8 gigs of memory, and the speed is kind of weird. So the speed is 2092 megahertz. It's not DDR3 and it's not DDR4. I mean, it could be DDR4 but slower, or it could be DDR3 but a little bit better. What I'm trying to say is that the RAM and the CPU are very different from the usual thing that we see with Intel or AMD. SSD, 256, and the type of SSD is SK Hynix, and the device's name is, let's start, HFM256 GD3GX013N dash SK Hynix. Those names. And for the GPU, we are using the onboard GPU. With this one, it's called Qualcomm Adreno 8CX Gen 3. We will see what Adreno can give us very, very soon. Now, before proceeding to the rest of the benchmarks, I think I've missed one little thing, which I myself have ignored because, from my own experience, the Microsoft's pen, the hidden one. So it has this quick ability to use quick shortcuts, but I've already opened the Paint. So let's see how the pen works. So I've chosen the red color, and let's see the line, how precise it is. Very, very, very good. It's a wonderful experience. It's much better from the Intels. Let's say I'm writing this channel logo, the name. So it's LongRhino. Let me give you a little bit of a smile and eyes. See, I like painting with pens. I mean, ever starting with the Note version from Samsung, I love this. Anyways, let's proceed with the hardware benchmarks. So let's begin with the SSD's benchmark. I'll let it run and I'll be back once it's finished. And here we are with the numbers. So the read speeds, 3000. So yeah, 3066 read speeds, which means it's average. It's not going to be the fastest, but it also means it's not going to be the slowest. Now, the write speeds are 1607. It means that it's going to be slightly slower than usually. And what do I mean by usually? I mean, like, if you have like a new device out of the box, like, I don't know, let's say T14, whatever base, this one is going to be feeling a little bit slower. And I'm pretty sure that the SSD and RAM are soldered on the motherboard, so we won't be able to upgrade the SSD. So yeah, make sure you are knowing this fact. And now for the CPU benchmark. So there are probably not going to be a GPU benchmark for this device because it's using a little bit different architecture. Instead of the 64 one, it's using ARC, something like that. Anyways, I'm going to run the CPU benchmark firstly with a charger and then again without the charger, and we'll see what this device can benefit us with. So I'm going to run the test and I'll be back once it's finished. And we're back with the numbers. So single core is 1010. What it means? It means that it's quite normal. It could be better, but it's fine. The multi-core core, is 5700. It means that it's average. The device is average. So let me show you the rest of the numbers and go from there. And now for the CPU benchmark without a charger. So I'm going to let it run and we'll see what it gives us. So here are the numbers. Single core score is 1032. It's like, I don't know, a percent difference. What it means that every basic task that you will ever do with the device, it doesn't matter if you're using it with a charger or without a charger. And the multi-score is 5546. It means that, again, same thing. You can use it without a charger and you feel no difference. Let me show you the rest of the numbers and we'll go to the last test that I forgot about. So the test that I forgot about is the camera. So basically, I don't like being filmed, as you already know, but this device has two cameras. It has one on the front, I mean, you can see yourself with it, but you also have one on the back. Sorry, they moved the button to here. And they have another camera on the back, which is quite good. I've used this camera for a long time, and even the zoom is kind of cool. It's much better this year. I mean, the colors and everything is a little bit less pixelated than usual, but it's quite good. So let's summarize this video. Firstly, who's this device for? Basically, it's for a student because the looks of the device. But if you are like on the way and you always have a desktop, then it's fine. But if you're using it on your lap, it's not the best experience. Let's say you're a manager, fine, you can use it. But the problem with the device as a manager, that sometimes the device can feel slower and sometimes buggy. So you need to know this. Now regarding the price. So this device is kind of pricey. This one costs around $2,000. You can see it on Microsoft's site. Maybe it's changed by now, but that was the price. So it's kind of expensive, but I mean, for such a good experience when it comes to battery life and stuff like that, I think it has no competitors except for, I don't know, Chromebooks and maybe, and of course the MacBooks. They are the only rivals this device has. So if you can go with Chrome OS, fine, you can do it, but then it means you don't need a Windows, or you can use Mac OS, but then again, you're getting no Windows. So that's the problem. Now, versus Intel and AMD, mainly the Qualcomm, this CPU, it means that you'll have much longer life, but you'll get much lesser, let's say, powerhouse of the device. So let's say you want to use this device for gaming. Let's say you want to use the device for editing videos, I don't know, whatever. It's not the best device for it, mainly because the CPU is different. So the whole operation system is different. However you feel like using it is going to be different. So if you want a better experience, overall experience, you can go with Intel because they have this version for an Intel CPU. But the problem is you are losing much from the battery life. You get no more than 4, maybe 5 hours, maybe, and I'm being like nice. Regarding other options, I think the two other competitors that are for this device is the Dell XPS 12, I think it's called, something like that. It's basically the same, but with XPS branding. And I think maybe Lenovo has something like that can fill the gap with this one. But they're probably going to be expensive, and I guess they're not coming with a Qualcomm CPU. So you are getting basically, again, Windows with a tablet. So you're just going to lose a lot of energy. So I think this device is for the person who needs energy, a lot of energy, and they don't like using like power adapters, and they have desk because the keyboard is very movable. Let's say it like that. So I think that sums it up. That was the Microsoft Surface 9 QC version 3, whatever. So thank you for watching. I like this device, and I'll see you in another one.